All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. So we do have an original E-Maxx here on the table. Now, you guys, if you're not familiar with this, I'll do a history of Traxxas really soon, or at least do it from my point of view. The E-Maxx, this particular one came out about 2000, 2001, but it came after the T-Maxx. Now, the T-Maxx was a nitro version of this vehicle. They have a 2-speed transmission and stuff, and it did revolutionize the hobby at that time. It was a big monster truck that was nitro powered. It had 2-speed transmission and it can actually go in reverse. And then about a year later, Traxxas released this. This is going to be the original E-Maxx. Now, there were 3 versions of this. There were 2 brush versions, and then they did a brushless version later on. This is going to be the original 36 or 3906, which is going to have a shorter wheelbase, and it'll also have a 2-speed transmission. And then later they released the 3903, which had a longer wheelbase. It did not have the 2-speed transmission in it, and they tried to beef it up a little bit. Now, this truck is not the most durable truck out there, especially compared to today's standards. But like I said, this is one of the original ones. And what makes you guys don't realize this is that it did come with an AM radio, which you see here. It has a crystal in the back of it. And of course, it's got the fishing pole, which we called this back in the day. And this does use 8 AA's, but it is a 3-channel radio. And to get that transmission to switch gears, you just flick this switch here for it. This is going to be for that 3rd channel for a low gear and then a high gear. And I am going to take this out and run this in this video real lightly. I'm not going to take it out and bash it, but taking this body off, you guys can see the inside of that. It did have those dual brushed motors in it. It had an original Novak speed controller. Novak actually designed this for this vehicle. I think Traxxas just contracted them in for it. So it was able to run 2 nickel metal batteries. I'm going to run this with some LiPo batteries. This does not have a LVC cutoff, so it's only going to be a brief run with it. And I think the steering is not going to be the best because it does need another steering servo saver or something up in there, because the one in here is kind of weak. And this is going to be for switching that transmission from first, or switching it over for these transmission and stuff for it. Now, this was one of the trucks that was going to be in direct competition with the Tamiya Clodbuster and then also Kyosho USA 1 that came out in the 80s for it. The Clodbuster is still out there and it still sells for it with it. But you guys see here, it does have 8 shocks. It has 4 in the back and then 4 also in the front. This is where those battery packs are going to fit. This one, like I said, is the 3906. So the wheelbase of the 3903 is going to be a little bit longer, and it allowed Traxxas to put their flat 7-cell nickel metal batteries in there, and it was also LiPo capable for the other version with it as well. So I'll put some links below in the description if I can find some stuff, so you guys can do a little research if you want to find some history on it. But this truck did revolutionize the hobby. I'm not even gonna lie. When this came out, a lot of people had it, and then they went over to the previous version, or the later version of 3903, which had a longer wheelbase and stuff. And then it came out with the brushless version. All 3 of these trucks were not the most durable at all, but they got Traxxas back on the map. They got people started back into the hobby and stuff. And Traxxas has done that throughout all their history up until I think around 2012 or 15 or so. They were always coming out with something revolutionary that had people getting into the hobby. I mean, that includes the X01 first, the world's first 100-mile-per-hour car. I think around 2006 or 2008, they released the Traxxas Slash, which also helped the hobby kind of get another spark into it. So they were really, really innovative back in the day. They're doing some stuff now. I think they need to get back to some of the stuff that they did back in the day, in my opinion, which is going to help put them back on the map and put them back at least in the top 3 out there. But anyway, I'm going to quit my yap and we're going to go out and we're going to take this for a quick run just so you guys can see it, because I want to see it run too. I'm just going to put some batteries in there. I'm not even going to change those connectors that I got some adapters for those Tamiya male connectors. And we're going to take this out just to see how it runs real briefly. All right, y'all, out here with a run of this. You guys can see that radio. See that long antenna right there? I should have brought my GPS out here. Let's see how this goes. Really don't want to flip it out here. That's let's make sure I got this in first gear. There we go. So that's first gear right there. And what I just ran it on was going to be second gear right here. That's all of about maybe 25 to maybe 28 miles per hour. And listen to that servo. I think that's a 2056 in there. So we're gonna take this off road. I do have some of my Pro line ramps out here. I brought 3, but I'm only gonna do it on 2 because I don't really want to bash this a lot, get it all busted up and stuff. I think you can still find parts for it, but still got more than enough power to flip over if you really honk into it. I think RPM makes a lot of parts for this because it was very, very, very popular when it came out. This and the T-Maxx, of course. Let's see if we can do a mild, nice little jump. I should have brought. Just when I said I don't want to try to flip it, look what happened. Now, if you guys want, stay till the end of the video because I did have a brushless version a long time ago, and I will let that video play at the very end of this. So don't know why they put 2 speeds in here, a 2-speed transmission, but I guess if you were going slower and crawling and stuff, you can do that. But for what it's worth, I'm going to tell you guys, for a about 25-year-old truck, it still is running good. I mean, you think about the other brush trucks out there. This isn't going to be nowhere near as durable, but I think when you start doing some big jumps and stuff, it's pretty much a done deal. Look at that, it's still going good. See if I can hit this ramp going good this way. I doubt it's going to be good, but high as I'm jumping, y'all, high as I'm jumping. Won't see no skate park videos with this. Just driving this, I got a big Kool-Aid smile on my face because it just brings back memories back in the day. RC cars are a little bit more simpler. Of course, we didn't run lipos in here. We had the nickel metal packs in here, but maybe I should do a legacy video at some point in time where I bring out all my old vehicles. I still got my Monster Beetle. Wow. Yeah, if this was brushless going at faster, probably would have broke an A-arm, but and even when I ran the brushless version, I only ran it on 4S. 6S was too much for, way too much. Oh my gosh, it was almost like the Summit, the Traxxas Summit, if you guys remember that. People making that brushless. It was too much power for that vehicle. But people still did it. This is running real good considering this servo too. I maybe should have brought that other bigger ramp out, but you guys know that comes in a set of 3. So the third one's actually back in the back of my SUV, but like I said, I wasn't planning on doing a lot of jumping out here. I just wanted to get this out, do a run, smell the fresh air. One of those times you can just relax and just drive a RC car. See, look at that. And some people were making the 3903, the longer wheelbase one. They were making it to where it had the 2-speed transmission inside of it too as well. Had to stop for a quick second. Do one more good jump and then I'm gonna end this video and let you guys watch that brushless run of this. Said I don't want to tear this up. This is going right back on the shelf, clean it all up, get it right back on the shelf so it can sit. There we go. That was decent enough to end this video. So I'm gonna actually run this for a few more minutes while I'm out here and enjoy it. But believe it or not, guys, this did change the RC scene back in the 2000s. Like I said, Traxxas did a lot over the years. I'm not gonna take credit for them. I never have taken credit for them on, and I won't start doing it now. I just think they need to get back to some of these unique designs that they did, including stuff like this. Like I said, the X01, the Slash. Even in the late 80s, early 90s, they started releasing things like the Radicator, the Traxxas Hawk, the Blue Eagle LS. Traxxas even raced at some point in time too. So like I said, I'll do a video at one point in time, and I'm just gonna say the history of Traxxas, and I'm gonna do it from my point of view. I may miss a couple of cars here and there, but they had a lot of stuff that they were doing back in the day. And like I said, they even raced and won some national championship races and stuff too. So if you guys wanna see that, put down in the comments, I don't know, put legacy or history or something like that. And then I'll go ahead and I'll create a video and do the history of Traxxas. I'll show some of the vehicles, I'll download some images and stuff like that and go through the whole history of Traxxas from my point of view of growing up, because I think when they came out with the Stampede 4x4 in 2009, 2010, that was my very first, believe it or not, 4-wheel drive vehicle, because I had loved the 2-wheel drive Stampede and I love monster trucks. But anyway, put your comments down below. I'm going to stay out here and I'm going to enjoy this. Hopefully these 8AAs will hold up for the next 10 minutes as I run this, and I appreciate you guys watching. Like I said, stay till the end. You're going to see this brushless Emaxx run as well. What's going on, guys? JT here with a drive of my Traxxas E-Maxx brushless. So I am just running this on 4S only. 6S to me is a little bit too much for this truck, but 4S seems to be perfect for kind of just driving in these conditions here. I think if you want a little bit more speed, you should go 5S, but I don't really recommend 6S, because with 6S you're going to start really breaking stuff with this. I mean, you really are. Drive shafts are going to break, and other components, especially if you start like really bashing it and jumping it. Now, the one good thing about this is it does have good aftermarket support, so you can buy upgrades for it, RPM parts, etc., for it. But for me and how I want to drive this, how this is running here is perfectly fine, actually. Just enough power to get it going, and not too much where it's just crazy and wheeling all over the place, and then parts are breaking, drive shafts and all that. So I might do another video and try this on 5S at some point. But considering when this actually came out and stuff, years and years ago, and how it's handling out, it's doing a good job, especially on 4S. The radio's a little bit outdated. There's a couple of versions back from Traxxas, this TQI radio, but response is good and steering and stuff is good on it. And of course, it's soaking up all the bumps and jumps pretty good. Or the little bumps out here good, so. Now, taking this to the skate park is a no-no. Only because I do kind of want to keep it looking in good condition. I don't want to start tearing it up and all that. And then I take it there, I'm going to have to be replacing parts anyway. I think some of the first things that are going to break are going to be the A-arms. And then, of course, the drive shafts. And I believe currently right now the E-Maxx is not available. So it is kind of a collector's item if you can find one. Rumor had it last year that they were going to release, about a year and a half ago, they're going to come out with the E-Maxx 2.0. And then, of course, it's going to have some of the features that they've been doing to some of their updated cars as far as the quick release body and stuff is concerned. So that'll be pretty cool. Because, they released the Revo 2.0. So it'll be good to see what they do with this one. I think they should stay away from the 2200 kV motors. I think that's too much power. I think they should go more or less with a 2000 kV, but that's just my opinion. Especially if you're going to do 6S. I mean, 2200 kV motor on a monster truck running 6S is a lot. It really is. Trying to get a little wheelie action going. But I do have to say it is still enjoyable to kind of bring this out and kind of run it. So maybe I should get this out and do a Super Speed Saturday with it. So. Yeah, it's soaking up this terrain better than I thought it would, actually. It's been a while since it's been driven. I forgot how good the suspension setup is on here, stock out the box. Alright guys, that's going to be a quick drive of this. I want to get this out and show this to you guys that may not be familiar with it. I'm going to actually continue to drive this a little bit more and enjoy it some before I have to clean it back up. You guys see all that mud and dust and dirt on the side of it as well. So don't expect to see any skate park videos with this. Probably have to get the ramp out at some point and do some mild jumping with it, but I'm not trying to go crazy with this. So anyway, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more videos. Thanks for watching.